Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss ischemia and reperfusion injury. It is often asked as a long question in your postgraduate exit exam. So before understanding ischemia and reperfusion injury, it is important to understand what is ischemic injury. So it is a hypoxia induced by reduced blood flow, can occur either due to mechanical arterial obstruction or due to reduced venous drainage. This contributes to ischemic injury to tissue. Now, what are the effects of ischemia? It leads to a compromise of aerobic metabolism due to lack of oxygen, and glycolytic substrate fail to reach the tissue, because of which even the anaerobic pathway is hampered. There is also accumulation of toxic metabolites which cause further tissue injury, because there is failure to wash away the toxic metabolites from the tissue because of reduced blood supply. So what is the mechanism of ischemic injury? Now, since there is decreased oxygen because of reduced blood supply, so there will be decreased production of ATP. Now this leads to a failure of the sodium potassium pump, as a result of which there is efflux of potassium and influx of sodium and water, leading to cellular swelling. There is also increased intracellular calcium, which has got a lot of deleterious effect. Like, as you can see in this diagram, the increased cytosolic calcium results in activation of cellular enzymes like phospholipase, protease, endonuclease, and ATPase. Phospholipase and protease, they degrade the membrane phospholipid and membrane cytoskeleton, causing cellular membrane damage, and endonuclease results in nuclear damage. So after understanding the effects of ischemia, let's understand what is ischemia reperfusion injury. Now, when there is restoration of blood flow to an ischemic tissue, it promotes the recovery of cell if they are reversibly injured. But it has to be noted that it can also paradoxically exacerbate the cell injury. Now, this is important, clinically, it is very important because it helps us to understand the tissue damage during myocardial and cerebral infarction, and following the therapies to restore the blood flow. So, what is the mechanism in which reperfusion can cause cellular injury? The first mechanism is oxidative stress. So, during reoxygenation, there can be an increased generation of reactive oxygen species and reactive nitrogen species, because the antioxidant defense system, which is present normally in the cell, is compromised because of ischemia. Secondly, there is increased intracellular calcium levels, intracellular calcium overload, because of influx of calcium during reperfusion. Now this leads to opening of membrane permeability transition of mitochondria, leading to a depletion of ATP and further contribution to cell injury. There is also inflammation seen surrounding the ischemic ischemically injured cells, because there are danger signals which are released from the dead cells. There are also cytokines released from the resident immune cells, and there is also increased expression of adhesion molecules. This leads to inflammatory response and further damage to the ischemic tissue. Some IgM antibodies are also seen to deposit in the ischemic tissue, which forms the binding site of complement. As a result, the complement system also contributes to ischemia reperfusion injury. Thank you.